Hey everybody, welcome back to Pine and Berry Homestead. It is my lunchtime, so it is my power hour out here in the garden trying to get some things done that I can't necessarily do at the end of the day or don't always have time to do on the weekends just because of how busy that we are. So I take full advantage of my lunchtime when I am working from home, and I come out here in the garden and I do one small project. So the one small project I'm going to work on today is getting my Vego garden bed filled with soil. That is my goal. But before I do that, I just kind of wanted to show you around and show you what's growing. And I also wanted to show you a couple things that we actually planted together that I noticed we actually have a little bit of a pest issue, and I'm not exactly sure what that pest is yet, but it's just something I noticed the other day. So I'm just gonna give you a very quick garden tour today. When you first walk into my garden, the first thing on the left-hand side is the Vego garden bed. The other day, my husband filled it with leaves. We have a ton of deciduous trees around us that shed their leaves in the fall. So we did fill it up, and the first thing I'm actually going to do is water it down. We probably could have shredded these leaves with the lawnmower to make them smaller, but I guess I was feeling a little lazy and we just filled it up. I'm gonna wet these leaves down, and then I'm gonna haul in the compost and fill it up the rest of the way. My plans are, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put in here. I know that I want to try growing sweet pea flowers. I don't know if you can see this trellis right there, but that was left here from the previous owners. So I think I'm going to stick that in the Vego garden bed and try growing sweet pea flowers in them. Carrots, beets. I was thinking of putting strawberries in here, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. Now this trellis that I built is doing beautiful. The snow peas are coming up wonderfully, and in the center there you can see the radishes. I'm very excited to see how this grows. And then here in my first raised bed, I have some Walla Walla onions growing. These are radishes that we planted together right here. And I don't know if you can tell, but something has been munching on these leaves. I have no idea what would be doing that, because in these two boxes, you and I had actually planted spinach, and I have one remaining spinach growing, but these were full. There was 9 in each box, and something ate all of them. And in this box we had 4 lettuce. We planted 4 different lettuces, and these 3 were eaten, and that one was left behind. So I have no idea. Now you might notice this. Oh my god, these little black flies are just so annoying. They're just buzzing around my head. So I planted carrots here, and we need to keep the soil moist so that they germinate. So I just put this bag down for right now. I'm thinking I might replace it with cardboard, but I'm not sure. Just want to make sure that we keep the moisture in, so that way they germinate, and once they germinate I can take off the covering. And here we have a cauliflower. We have chives. These ones are just starting to show signs of flowering, and once those flower I will make some chive blossom butter with them. And there is our kale. Our beautiful trellises. I'm so excited. Over here we have our hardneck garlic. It is literally the best garlic I've ever grown so far. I mean, just by looking at the thickness of the stalks, like, my garlic has never actually looked this good before. So I'm very excited to see what the garlic heads look like. And they're quite tall. They're actually like half my height. So this one, I believe, is the German, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's German hardneck garlic. That one's Music. And those are all our cabbages. And then we have broccoli in the front and cauliflowers in the back. Those are looking really, really good. Over here, you can see we are still pulling out giant rocks from the garden. I don't think that will ever end. I feel like we live on a rock farm. But over in this bed, we have some Patterson yellow storage onions. I believe this is more radishes. These are beets, and they are spotty germination. So I actually started some inside. That way I have a better chance of getting a nice harvest this year. We have some Eastern Magic broccoli. Looks like it has a little bit of sun damage on that leaf right there, but that's okay. Here's more lettuce. Looks like 2 out of the 4 survived and are growing okay. We'll see. We've had an unseasonably warm May. It felt like it went directly to summer, like in the 70s and 80s some days, when it should be really like in the 50s and low 60s. So we'll see. It might bolt before we even have a chance to eat it. There is more. Looks like more beets in that one. I do not remember what I planted here. We'll find out. Here I planted, I believe they're cipollini onions or gold coin onions. They're just starting to pop up. I direct sowed them. So we shall see how that goes. Now back in this bed, we have some more onions. Now, I just want to point out that I am going to have major weed pressure in my garden beds this year because I allowed this entire area to just be consumed by weeds. And by the end of the season, the weed seeds were just like floating all around, and I'm going to have to do some major weed control in my garden beds. It is not a battle that I wanted to, I didn't want to go to war with the weeds this year. Unfortunately, I have no choice. I'm going to have to. But I'll just take it, day by day. Maybe do a few boxes a day just to keep the weeds down. But anywho, actually, does anyone know what this is? Like, it is a flower and a weed. It almost looks like strawberry leaves, but we do have wild strawberries growing around our property. I just don't know what this is. I've never seen it before. It's really pretty. Anywho, we got onions, and I think I planted carrots in somewhere in here. No idea. More onions there, more kale, more onions, and oh, let's go to this bed. So again, we have some more onions. I know I planted carrots somewhere in here. They're not coming up yet. That is another broccoli plant. These are more beets. Again, the germination was really spotty, and I plan on planting them out, like the ones that I started inside, very soon. But these are the spinach seeds that we started the same exact day as the other box, and these ones are doing just fine. They're actually growing beautifully. So I have no idea what was eating my spinach babies in the other garden bed. That is more beets. Back here we have we have Walla Walla onions in these 2 squares. I know I planted out rutabaga here. I think I did carrots in this one. Maybe lettuce over here, carrots there, and something else here. I did a short video on it, but I just can't remember. That bed I just got done filling up. I still have to fill up this one. And I also need to come through and put compost down on the inside of the trellises so that in the next week or 2, probably the next week, so that way I can get my rattlesnake pole beans planted out in the garden. And right now, that's what we got. We should start being able to harvest some things here pretty soon. But my goal today is to get this baby filled and done with so I can get it planted, and I probably won't take you along while I fill it up, but I will show you the end result. So I found this rod in the Vego garden bed box, and I did a little bit of research because I thought I had forgotten to put it in the Vego garden bed, but I watched their YouTube video on how they built their 2 foot by 8 foot 17-inch tall bed, and they didn't use the rod in that bed. They said the only one that needs it is the 10-in-1 17-inch tall Vego garden bed, and mine's only the 9-in-1. So I'm gonna take a chance and not put this in. I hope I don't regret it, but I'm gonna listen to the experts and not use it this time. Right now I'm running the hose. I'm gonna spray this all down, get it nice and wet, and then start piling on that compost. So you might notice that from the clip earlier that there are pine needles that are mixed in with the leaves from the trees. Not necessarily ideal, but it's not a ton either, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. They will eventually break down into the soil as well. But I think this is good. I was going to put rotting logs in the bottom as well, but we didn't really have a lot that were starting to break down, and I know that could take a really long time, and fortunately we had enough leaves already to get this pretty much filled up halfway. And it will settle once I put the soil on top, but that's okay. Not too worried about it. We're just going with the flow here. that wasn't too bad, and it didn't take me too long. I think I misjudged how I would have to handle the wheelbarrow when putting the soil in, and I needed to like rest the wheelbarrow on my leg and like use my hands. I eventually got it. I do struggle a little bit doing certain things when I'm by myself. Like this was a little bit of a struggle. My sandals are wet, so I was like slipping, and but that's done now, which is awesome. Huge thing checked off my list. I'm just going to put the trellis in the bed so that I can attempt growing sweet pea flowers. I've never grown them before. Probably, I think in the summer of 2020, a girl that I went to high school with had a flower garden, and she came over and we like traded seeds, different seeds that we wanted with each other. And one of the things that she gave me for seeds were, I believe they are mammoth sweet peas. So, excuse me, I'm going to soak them overnight, and then I'll get them planted out either tomorrow or the following day, and I'll see if they grow. I don't know if they'll like warm weather or if they prefer cooler weather, but we'll see what happens. And thank you to the girl who gave me the sweet pea flower seeds. You know who you are, so I really appreciate it. Easy peasy. Pretty excited. I'm gonna keep saying that because I am super excited for this growing season. I cannot wait to just start garden grocery shopping and seeing everything just explode. Thanks for hanging out with me today.